Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got back from watching Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, directed by J.J. Abrams, and starring the final performance of Carrie Fisher, and various other Star Wars characters, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, and an all-star cast. When it comes to this latest Star Wars saga, it's been loved, it's been hated, it's been seen as okay. Basically, every single opinion you can think of that's come from the critics and the fans has been reflected when it comes to this series. And this final film is essentially all over the place, but some of the places it goes to are really cool. And some of those places made me realize that this series didn't have a roadmap from the start, and it should have. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that the Resistance is preparing for their final battle against the First Order, and Kylo Ren has to search for various objects to lead him to a certain someone you might have noticed from the trailers. Rey, Finn, Poe, and the rest have to find these objects, get to the heart of the Sith world, and ultimately end the dark side once and for all. That's all I'll say about the story without giving anything else away. So, what did I like about the movie? Well, as you'd probably expect from Star Wars movies at this point, the visuals are absolutely top-notch. There are so many details going on in the background of so many scenes. There's so many big moments with these characters. Even if it does feel like, even by Star Wars movie standards, they cheat death way too often. And it's clear that a lot of these actors are putting in their absolute best performances despite some of the material given to them. Not only that, but some of the action scenes in the film are really, really cool. Some of the best in any trilogy, in my opinion. And the emotional moments do hit hard if you grew to care about these characters, and I personally do care about Rey. I care about Finn. I care about Poe. And I, of course, care about the original characters from the old trilogy as well. I care about, Luke, Leia, Han, and even Lando Calrissian, who comes back, played by Billy Dee Williams, and he's just as solid as he always was in the original trilogy. My problems come in with the fact that it's clear that several decisions in this movie were clearly made by J.J. Abrams to retcon various things that happened in The Last Jedi. That could either be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on where you're standing from. Personally, I disliked a lot of the choices made in The Last Jedi, so I was okay with some of the choices made, but it was clear from the start that the things that were the most controversial in The Last Jedi were retconned here. I won't spoil what exact things, but you'll know them when you see them. It just feels like Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams couldn't agree on what direction the series was going to take, and J.J. Abrams made this movie to slight him in a way, or insult him in other ways, and I can see that's why some critics are seeing it as an insult to the previous film. It's clear that this movie is never going to be able to please anyone. Even though there's fan service moments and returns from old characters in practically every single scene, it tries absolutely everything to make the fans happy. But for some, it'll be either too late, or for others, it'll simply be too obvious. Especially considering there are a ton of new characters who are added into this last movie, where it feels like they weren't really given the time to develop, where even though they are entertaining, we don't get to know that much about them outside of a few personality quirks. The start of the film is extremely exposition heavy, as much like Return of the Jedi, it takes place years after the events of the previous two films, and that can sometimes be a little bit jarring, in a way. I'd argue even more so than in Return of the Jedi. And also, even though I liked the final battle in many ways, it has a lot of moments that'll either anger you or make you question things. But taken as a whole, I do think the movie does what it could based on the materials that it had. based on all the reactions that people had, based on all the building blocks the series have been building up, I do think it provides enough good answers, it provides enough great moments, and it provides enough of a conclusion to the point where I'm okay with this being at the end of the Skywalker saga. It certainly could have been a lot better, but in my opinion, after what happened last time, it could have been a lot worse too. It's not a perfect movie, and it's not a perfect series, but I will give The Rise of Skywalker a 7 out of 10. May the Force be with you.